So it ended up being my sister. And there were plenty of times after that where I saw her because I recognized her other sisters. So I never knew her until she was like 19. But I think I mentioned that in one of the other videos. Um, and basically, that was my experience living in a house up until now that I'm in a house again. So it's a bit ironic. Um, Prior to me moving to Baltimore, I always knew I wanted to live in Baltimore only because of like the peacefulness versus living in New York. And uh, what I mentioned in that video that I made in the on the phone was basically regarding like some of the family members that I have out here. They don't turn themselves into religion, so it's like back to square one. Um, and I mentioned how I have a cousin who has a wife who has three daughters, and then she want to come for me. It felt like, and I don't know this bitch. I don't know this lady. Um, she never really took the time to get to know me. It's all because it's all been pressure and like everything fast forward because she has three daughters from my cousin. Um, and so she was going through some kind of depression shit, and we ended up going to church with her. The church is not Catholic, it's not Pentecostal. I want to say it's a Baptist church. It was like new and everything when we started going there. Um, and I don't know, it's like coming in as a guest, like I have my little like reservations and shit. Like I was really trying to pay attention to what they were talking about. There was some shit that resonated with me, and then there was some shit that was like, okay, cool. It's like I would have to come back to kind of like get a further feel of the church. But other than that, it was it's like I haven't been to church in a minute. And it's just ironic to me. Everything like um how I ended up having a fight a bit after those church visits, like and it happened to be that sister. Um just remembering how I met her and everything's like it doesn't make sense. Shit like a setup. Like when I met her, she had her little story and it was sad. It was very, very sad. And that left me depressed for a minute. Um, but then like over the years, it was so obvious that she changed because she was seeing money. Now now she has her father in her life who happens to be my father. So of course that changed her. But it was like, why come for me? Like a lot of these bitches, they want to come for me after whatever set goal they have in their life, and it's like, for what? I'm the most down to earth person that you could ever meet. Um, and what's yours is yours. I don't feel like I need to that person to take that shit away. But I just don't know about those church folks. Like she claimed to be a church girl when I first met her. I don't know if that's still continuing or whatever the case is, but it's like even the church people, they were talking about they from the Bronx and this is weird. Like it's not uncommon that my cousin to play with some of these stalky motherfuckers. Like um even when I met her, it was ironic that she was living uptown. Like we were that close. And as far as the cult family, like they got ties to uptown too. So it's just like, wow, the Bronx is so small. And then it's like, I wonder how many people want to get out of New York, and I wonder where they land. Like shit like that. Like that's just a random ass video about that. Um, and as far as like my friend and shit like that, the Jehovah's Witness motherfucker, like just weird, just weird all around. And you can't even blame religion. Like religion has part of the fault or whatever in raising them, but as an adult, you can't even blame religion on them. Motherfuckers could hide behind religion in whatever outfit and whatever brand and whatever cologne and whatever perfume. But at the end of the day, we're all sinners. And at the end of the day, the most scariest person is a church motherfucker that's into business. That's the scariest thing I've ever witnessed. Um, Even with the landlords here, it's like y'all iffy. Y'all look religious. Y'all look like y'all the good people, but y'all a little iffy. So it's just one of those. I fear becoming someone like that. Like I want what you see through these videos to be who I continue to be. Like honest and down to earth and all this extra shit. Not no motherfuckers gonna look at me sideways because of how I handle business or because who I have around me or I don't know, my activities or some shit, like if that makes sense. Um it's kind of crazy how even when I was going through like my whole depression after my kids and shit, I still managed to think, what am I gonna do in my life? What am I gonna do in my life? How do I want my life? What's missing from my life and all this extra shit? And I got out that shit. But I felt like motherfuckers really wanted a piece of that pie to be like, we helped her get out of that shit. No, not really. My experience with you is what helped me get out that shit because had I stayed in that shit, I'm scared. I don't know who the fuck you are coming to me. I don't know who you pretending to be coming to me. I don't even know how low you thought I was for you to be coming to me. You know what I'm saying? Like motherfuckers wouldn't come to me if they knew I was not depressed, if they knew I was still on my shit. And that's scary to me. That is very, very scary to me. And like after I made that video, I took a nap. And as I'm waking up, I hear the noise all over again, like it's 6 a.m. Um, and then I said, you know what, let me post this video because if I don't, I'm gonna regret it. Um, I don't like how my soul was tangled with as a young girl, like as a young naive girl. I don't like it at all. That's why you will hear me vent about that nigga. Um, and he's a clown today. Like I could honestly look at him and be like, "You a clown." Um, but it's irrelevant if he is or isn't because he's just not for me. The married motherfucker, I would have to hear that he done got divorced because it would not be because of me. It would be because you was unhappy in your marriage. And I'm gonna make a separate video about him because he's another clown.